Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it again today. Today is a leg day. We are heading to the gym, looking to get a good one in. Feeling really good this week. Last week was kind of a rough day for me when it happened to be leg day, and I went into the gym a little less energized than I am today. So today's going to be a good one. We're looking at a really strong leg day, but we'll talk more about that a little later on here. Today I wanted to talk about living life for the sake of living life, and just trying to enjoy everything that you live through day to day. I've definitely mentioned this idea before, and it's not new to think about the fact of just enjoying life to enjoy life, right? But this comes from a place of something I recently seen that kind of changed my life in a big way. And that would be the movie Soul. It might sound silly to you. You might think, whatever, that's that dumb Disney movie. But that movie it did something to me, dude. It changed something in my mind. And I would recommend anybody go watch it before finishing this video. I'm gonna kind of spoil it as I talk through this video, so you're gonna want to have seen it to understand what I'm talking about. But I recommend everybody to watch it at least once in their life. I think it portrays a really good message of, I guess, just, your purpose on this earth. And it portrays a good message of why we're here and why we're alive. And, it reminds you to enjoy it. It is a beautiful day out right now. Right now I'm enjoying life for the sake of living life because this is just fucking gorgeous. The sun's shining great today. A couple days ago it snowed, so there's a nice contrast of the color out there. It's looking beautiful. But back to the point. So what I wanted to talk about wasn't the whole movie itself, but one specific part of it, and that would be kind of the ending, the last lesson, because the movie is filled with little lessons and little things that kind of remind you to be a little more joyful with everything. But the final lesson is, I think, what did it for me. And that is going to be the end where 22 finds out that she found her spark, right? She found her spark of life in order to get her pass to go to Earth. And the spark she found wasn't anything specific. It wasn't a purpose. Throughout the whole movie, Joe Gardner is attempting to... He's so stuck on the idea of purposes, because his purpose in life, he feels, is to be a jazz player. And, he is so caught up in this idea that every person is born with their purpose, and they just have to find it. And he says at one point to 22, and it comes up later in the movie, he says to her that, backtrack a little bit, she says that she thinks her purpose, her spark, is just existing. It's just walking, dancing, eating food. And he says that's not a purpose, those are just things, it's just living, it's just life. And that's kind of the whole point I'm getting at, is the movie ends with him realizing that is the spark, that is life. We're not born with some inherent purpose to follow, and we find our purpose through living. But the main driver of our existence of living life is just to live it, just to experience life for the sake of experiencing it. I don't know how spiritual you want to get about it all, or what your beliefs are religiously, gods, the universe, God. I'm not going to dig into that. I'm not trying to make some controversial thing about religion and spirituality here. But I think we can all safely say it makes quite a bit of sense that, our purpose to be here living on this earth is just to fucking enjoy it. Just to experience it. And not even just enjoy it, but experience your life. Experience the ups, the downs. Experience all of it. And, that's the point of it. So day-to-day life, when you're doing things you don't really want to do, you're doing a chore, you're doing a task you don't really feel like doing, think about why you're here and why you're doing it anyways. You're just here to experience it. You're just here to live, to do the thing. After understanding that idea a little more deeply, I think after you watch the movie, you'll get this feeling. And if you don't, sucks to suck, I guess. But you start to really realize, like, why am I so negative about the things I do in my life, in my day? Why do I act like everything is something to complain about? Everything is pretty much okay most of the time. Everything's pretty fucking good. And we have bad times, and that's just to contrast the good times. That's not a new idea. But we all seem to forget it, and we all seem to get so caught up in the bad times. And I guess that's kind of the point, right? The point is to experience that depth of negative emotion in order to experience everything, the full scale of life, the balance of it all. You want to experience all of it, the ups and the downs. And I'd say most of my life I experienced some downs, but nothing that was really life-altering, nothing that really hurt me to such a point where I felt like just the entire world was crashing down. I didn't get that until more recently in my life. The last, about 2 years ago, some shit kind of hit. And that was the first time I had stooped so low in my mental state and been so negative about the life I was living. And I believe all that did was propel me to understand how positive the rest of life is. It changed me. It made me into a person who appreciates and understands the good things in life way more than I ever did in the past. And we're not going to talk too much about that, but just remember that if you're in a down time, if something bad's happening to you and you're in this negative mindset, it might be just to set yourself up for the next good thing. It might be to, almost like a palate cleanser. Like when you're tasting wines and you smell the coffee grounds and you cleanse your palate between tastings, because if you taste so much of the same type of thing, you start to lose it. You start to not be able to taste the differences and enjoy the different notes in it, right? So having a hard time and going through something tough is kind of a palate cleanser for yourself. It's kind of something to remind you of, it's something to ground you, something to make you understand how basic and how simplistic life is in certain ways, so that you can then go and understand how complex and how enjoyable other things can be. I've explained myself. You get the point. It's a palate cleanser, and I truly believe we all need to experience everything in this life, and we should be striving to experience as much as we can all the time. So take that chance. Talk to that new person. Do whatever, man. Kiss the girl, dance the dance, run the run, go on a trip you never went on before. Just do shit, and always keep trying to do new shit. I'm gonna kind of plagiarize just a touch off my boy Zerky. If you don't know the Zerky Show, please go give him a watch. He's one of my biggest inspirations. Super fucking smart guy. Super inspirational. Nothing but credit to him. But it's something he said that kind of changed my thought process a lot. He explained the idea of when you're traveling, when you're out in the world in a new place, it's so easy to put your phone down and experience it and go try a new thing and talk to a new person. Even I saw a TikTok of a guy talking about how he was at the airport and he told a girl he thought she was pretty, and he never would have done that at home. We gotta kind of remember to, all the time, not just when we're experiencing new shit on vacation or whatever, we gotta remember at home in our lives, the world around us, to have that same childlike curiosity and that same ability to try new things and search for new experiences and new feelings. How many places in your hometown have you driven past for years and never seen? You know, how many towns surrounding your hometown have you never even really been in? You know what I mean? Do you try out new stuff? Have you tried all the different places around you? The restaurants, the stores, museums, the art museums. I mean, I had no idea. There's an art museum one town over from me, fucking 5 minutes away. There's a full art gallery. And I never knew it was there. You know, and I went as far as going all the way into the capital to see an art museum when I had no idea there was one 5 minutes from me. You know, it was right there. So try to remember to experience the world right around you. Like I said, this is kind of plagiarizing Zerky, but I want you all to understand this, and I think it ties into my message here. I really believe it's valuable to not only carry that curiosity out in the world when you're on vacation or exploring, but also carry that curiosity for the world that you're in right now. You know, the people you see at the same gym every day, have you talked to them? Do you introduce yourself? Do you get to know the people that you walk past every day? You know, you probably see the same people in your local grocery store every week when you go shopping. You probably see, you know, at least 3 or 4 of the same people that you see every day. Do you ever talk to them? Do you ever, you know, explore more? Or do you get so caught up in just living your day-to-day and going through this loop and ignoring all of the experience and all of the life that is right around you? So, you know, we need to stop waiting for our whole life to change and for this big break to come to start experiencing and living our life. You know, we think once we get rich and once we get famous and we can travel the... Excuse me. You know, we think once we get rich, once we get famous and we can travel the world and we can see all this stuff, that then we'll be happy. Then we'll be able to live and experience and try new things. But have you searched the world around you? Have you searched right in your area where you're at every day and really tried to find something new to do, to experience, to learn about? Probably not, you know? So, I'll kind of loop it back to Soul, and that's kind of the whole point of that movie, and that's the point that really got to me, was that idea that, you know, we're living just for the sake of living. Everything that's been created, everything that exists is art. You know, I mean, no matter how ugly the world is around you, no matter how bad some things you see in your life are, it's all fucking art, dude. Every last fucking thing you see and experience is an artistic expression of somebody. The fucking guardrails on the side of the road right here, somebody sat down and drew those up and designed those and put those together. And whether or not you want to call that art, it's fucking art. Everything that exists is art, dude. The natural landscape around us, the roads, the houses, the buildings, the stores, all the stupid shit you buy from Walmart every day. Everybody designed it. Everybody put something together and made something. Every single thing you see is art. And start fucking taking it as that, you know? Everything you see around you. And people will take this in a religious note. You know, people talk about how God created everything and whatever. I'm not religious. We're not talking about that. But it's that same idea. I think regardless of religion or spiritual beliefs, you should hold that. Realize that every fucking little thing around you is perfect, dude. Every little fucking thing around you was made exactly to be what it is. And we're supposed to experience all of it to the fucking fullest. You know, lighten the fuck up. Enjoy the life around you. Be so happy to just live for the sake of living. And it gets fucking tough sometimes. And, you know, like I said, sometimes you're going to go through tough moments and you're going to feel hard emotions. And that's the palate cleanser. That's the thing that gets you to remember how good everything else is. You can't live your life 100% of the time feeling like everything's perfect and everything's great. It's just not going to work. Eventually you're going to crash. You're going to fall. You can't hold those emotions for so long. I've talked about that before. But as much as you fucking can, man, try to remember how beautiful every fucking thing is. And no, I'm not on mushrooms right now. I realize I'm fucking talking like some guy around the campfire, you know, singing Kumbaya, but fuck, man. Why the fuck aren't we living like this every day? Why aren't we feeling like this every moment we fucking can? You know what I mean? I've heard if we only get one chance at this life, why the fuck aren't we running like hell towards what we want? Why aren't we running like fucking hell at the life we want, the girl we want, the career we want, the money we want, whatever you want in this life? Why aren't you running like hell towards it? And that kind of ties in. Why the fuck aren't you enjoying everything and running like hell to enjoy everything? You know what I mean? Really pushing yourself and exerting yourself towards the idea of trying to fucking experience and enjoy everything you fucking can. Every last fucking thing you can, dude. Like, everything is so fucking beautiful, and I promise I'm not on drugs. I promise. Okay, but everything is so fucking beautiful, dude. Look around once in a while. Just think about it. Think about the effort that somebody put in to create the building you live in, the phone you hold in your hand, everything. Try to reset your little For You page on TikTok and try to see some more Hope Corps shit, see some more of how beautiful the fucking world is, and really soak that shit in. But don't just look at it on your phone, man. Make a point of it to go experience something yourself. Even if it's something that's right in your town that you've been living next to your whole life and you've had no idea about it and you think it's dumb, go find out. Because even if it is dumb, there you go. That's a palate cleanser. That's just another thing to experience to show you how good everything else can be. Yeah, maybe it is fucking dumb. But go see something new. Go do something new, man. And it doesn't... I'm struggling with this, dude. I feel like I'm talking out of my ass right now because I do the same shit. I feel like because I don't got the money, I don't got the means, I don't have the ability to go see everything and go experience new things. It doesn't cost money, and I've got to learn that shit myself. I've got to go start doing shit just for the sake of doing it, seeing shit. Walk down a new path, drive down a new road, look at a new, area of your town that you've never even driven through. I can assure you, you may be the contrary to this, but 90% of fucking people, the town you live in, have you driven down every road in that town? Do you know every fucking part of that town? Have you seen every store there is? Have you seen every house there is? If not, then you're leaving something on the table. So, make a note of it today, man. This is going to be your one task for the day. I'm giving you homework. When you're driving home, if there's another road you can take, if there's another route home, take it. If you haven't taken it before, take it. Even if it just means, you've got a straight line home and you can turn and go around this block and then back onto the straight line home. Do it. Go right around that block. Just look around. Look at the houses. Look at the places. Experience what life is like around you. Drive through that new neighborhood and just take a look. Oh, that guy's got a basketball hoop in his yard. Oh, that guy, that house has a bunch of toys laying in the yard. Kids must live there. They must play outside all the time. Experience shit. See new shit. Look around in the world around you, man. So, that's all I can leave you with. I mean, I don't have anything that much more in depth to talk about there, but in that movie, in Soul, and if you haven't watched it, why are you still watching this? Go fucking watch it and then come back and talk to me. But when 22 gets trapped in Joe's body and she's scared at first, right? But then as she starts living and she tastes the pizza for the first time, all of a sudden that curiosity sparks, that childlike curiosity for the world. And everything she does throughout that portion of the movie, dancing in the street, listening to music, laying on that vent and letting the air blow past her and watch her tie flipple in the wind and, all that shit. It's how we should be living a little more often. Try to live the way that 22 was living in Joe's body. When the little twirly birds come down from the trees, smile at them a little bit, be proud of the fact that you're living this life and you get to see shit like that. fucking all seems so mundane and so boring because we're so desensitized from all this shit we feed our brains with all day, all this information and all this judgment and all of this harshness, and these people's, people are so fucking quick to tell everybody to grow up and to take life seriously. What the fuck is serious about life? None of this shit is serious. We're on a fucking floating rock in space, dude. Take everything as unseriously as you possibly fucking can for the next couple days of your life and just see how much happier you feel. You know what I mean? When your boss talks shitty to you at work, just laugh at it. Don't laugh in his face. Don't lose your job. But just laugh at the shit, man. It's all fucking so silly. It's so stupid. Everybody's so caught up in this imaginary idea of being serious and following this plan of how to live life perfectly. It's not fucking perfect. That's why we're here. If everything was perfect all the fucking time, nobody would want to live, dude. We would stop reproducing. We would stop trying to grow. And that's not a life I want to live. That's why we still are here. That's why we're still doing what we're doing. So live life with that childlike curiosity and really fucking push yourself to love everything around you once in a while. It can't be like that all the time. You're gonna have hard moments, and that's what makes it so fucking valuable, dude. So, homework for today: take a different route home from work if you're driving home from work or from the gym, wherever. Even fucking, as silly as this sounds, if you're in the gym and there's in this gym there's 2 different shoulder press machines. I've never tried the other one. Next shoulder day I'm going to. Not because I'm not feeling like I'm getting the activation from the one I'm using, but because I want to try the other one. Experience everything new that you can. Drive down the new road, talk to the new person, introduce yourself to somebody who you never thought you would want to talk to. They might be the most interesting person ever. You have no fucking idea, man. So, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna head in for a leg day. I am feeling fucking I'm feeling fucking magical in the mind right now. I got really heated talking about that, and I think it's something fucking valuable. I think we should all try to take something from everything I said there. So you guys simmer on that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna see you in the car back after legs, and this is gonna be a fucking good one. I'm happy to be here today, and I'm happy to have the privilege to do what I'm doing here today. So, see y'all in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a leg day done with. No pump check for today. Not really anywhere good to pose down with my legs right now. I gotta start wearing shorts on leg day so I can show them off a little better, but right now not the case. Try to catch my breath. I'm always so out of breath in these second clips. I gotta breathe for a second before I hit record. Something just different about leg day. There's not really nothing quite like it, man. Like I said, I've got the love-hate relationship with it. I always think it's gonna be so bad, and I always think about skipping it. And then when I do leg day and I come out, I'm so glad I did do it. And every time I see my legs growing, I'm glad I'm doing the leg days. But beforehand, man, it's them Sunday scaries about it, man. I can't pinpoint why, but I just never want to do leg day. But once I do it, I'm so happy about it. So I'm not sure, man. And there's something to be said about every day of the split. If you guys haven't caught on by now, I mean, you can see from the titles what my split looks like. But every day in the split has its own qualities, and every single day of the split I love for their own reasons. They're all different. I mean, obviously it's different parts of the body, but I come out of each day of the split with a different feeling about me, and every single one of them is a good feeling. So I mean, every 4 days I cycle 4 different great feelings, one on each day, and it just repeats. Now, you know what day I can't get behind is rest day. Again, I'm not trying to sound tough with this shit, but man, rest day is a fucking issue for me. I sit there just I feel so useless. I feel like I have nothing to do with myself. So we're not going to talk too much about that. It's not rest day. We're not putting that negativity in my mind today. Today was a leg day, and we're feeling good about that. So not too much to recap. I'll run over what I did in there just so you guys are aware. So started off on the yes nos, the watermelon crushers, you might call them, hitting adductors and abductors, both sides. Just really getting those warmed up, really trying to focus on getting those muscles strengthened for a stronger squat in the future. And then after that, onto the cable leg press. Goes up instead of like this. It's not the seated lower leg press, it's the other one. You know what I'm talking about. Went pretty heavy on there. I really wanted to just kind of see what kind of weight I could push, and I pushed myself pretty hard there. Then over to the seated hamstring curls, hitting some good strong sets there, hitting some isometrics on there also. I've done some research about tendon health and how to strengthen your tendons rather than just the muscles so that you don't have muscle tears and such like that. And isometrics seem to be the thing. So doing some isometric holds on most of my lifts I have been, and I'm going to be continuing to, at least out of one set of each lift, I'm going to try to pause in the middle and hold an isometric hold for at least 30 seconds or so, just in order to strengthen the tendons. If you don't understand that fully, do some research about tendons and that, but that is indeed the method I'm using. So I'm trying to make sure we don't have any injuries in the future. I want to keep my tendons strong because I'm relatively strong. I like to push a lot of weight, and sometimes I feel a little bit of pain in the tendons rather than the muscle, and I'm a little scared of tears. So in order to mitigate that, we're doing some isometric holds, and then onto the leg extensions. And if you don't know about me, I like to abuse myself on the leg extensions. That's kind of my favorite lift to just go absolutely ape shit on. I always feel strong, and I'm always able to get out another rep. I mean, I don't go to failure because failure doesn't seem to exist on that machine. I go until my legs are burning to such an extent that I can't do it anymore. But I'm always able to get another rep out. So I just rep it until my legs are burning on fire and I have to stop and take a breather because it hurts so bad. So, I mean, leg extensions went great, as they usually do. So yeah, that was about the extent of the lift. I did some more isometric holds with the dumbbells for the forearms. Thinking I can implement those at least once every lift. At the end of every lift, I think I can manage to do some isometric holds with just the dumbbells and really try to build up that grip strength. I want iron grip. I want to be able to crush things with my hands, so to speak. So yeah, that's that for the lift. There's the recap. As for the first part of the video, not much to recap there. You guys got the message. So just a reminder: enjoy life, live life every day like you're living it for the sake of living it. Try new experiences for the sake of experiencing. It doesn't always have to be good. It doesn't always have to be the most fun, the best. But just experience stuff for the sake of it, because you're never going to find that one thing that you love so much without trying new things, even things that you don't think you're going to like. So keep trying new things, keep experimenting, and live for the sake of living. And I think that'll be about it for today's video, guys. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm going to close it off here, and I'm going to jam all the way home. So I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I hope if it's leg day for you, you went as hard as I did, if not harder. I expect you guys to be going harder than I am. So remember that. Y'all have a good night. Thank you very much.